Have you ever found yourself caught in a cycle of overthinking? You wake up, and the first thoughts in your mind are filled with worries, doubts, and the weight of the day ahead. You may feel overwhelmed by the endless to-do lists or the struggles that seem to follow you day after day. It's a common experience, especially as we age and face more challenges. But what if I told you that 90% of those thoughts, the ones that bring you anxiety and stress, are completely unnecessary? In Buddhist teachings, the mind is often compared to a vast ocean, sometimes calm and clear, other times turbulent and wild. Our thoughts are like waves, constantly rising and falling, some gentle, others crashing violently. But just like waves, thoughts are temporary. They come and go. It's only when we attach ourselves to them, when we believe every thought is true and important, that we start to feel overwhelmed. The Buddha spoke of the nature of suffering, or dukkha, which arises when we cling to things, ideas, or expectations that are fleeting. Our thoughts, much like the external world, are impermanent. The sooner we accept that our thoughts are not who we are, the sooner we can regain control of our mental space. This concept is closely tied to the Buddhist understanding of anatta, or non-self. We are not our thoughts. We are not defined by the constant chatter in our minds. By understanding this, we can begin to free ourselves from the weight of unnecessary thinking. So, how can we change this pattern? The first step is to simply observe our thoughts without judgment. When negative or anxious thoughts arise, instead of fighting them, let them pass. Acknowledge their presence, but don't identify with them. Imagine standing by the ocean, watching the waves crash and recede. You are not the waves, you are the stillness around them. Here's a simple practice you can begin today: the sacred pause. This is a practice in mindfulness where you take a moment before reacting. When you catch yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, pause, breathe deeply and ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it true? This space, this pause, is where your power lies. It's where wisdom can step in and help you choose how to respond rather than letting the thoughts dictate your actions. Take a moment each day to practice this pause. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath before responding to someone, or taking a step back when emotions start to rise. When you start observing your thoughts without judgment, you will begin to see that many of them are unnecessary. They are like clouds drifting across the sky, there for a moment and then gone. Let's reflect on the story of an elderly monk who lived a simple life in the mountains. Despite facing many challenges, including the loss of loved ones and physical pain, he remained peaceful and composed. When asked how he maintained his calm, he explained, "I do not attach to my thoughts. They are not me. I let them pass like leaves in the wind." This practice of detachment helped him navigate the storms of life without becoming overwhelmed. As you embark on your own journey of mindfulness and mental peace, remember, it's not about suppressing your thoughts, but observing them and letting them pass. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to find stillness amidst the chaos. You are not defined by your thoughts. And as you continue this practice, you'll find that you have more control over your mind than you ever imagined. The power of letting go. Continuing from where we left off, we now explore another key lesson from Buddhist teachings: letting go. This is where we take the next step in our journey toward emotional resilience. As we grow older, we are often faced with more stress, whether it's related to health, relationships, or the many changes that life brings. One of the most powerful tools we have is the ability to let go of what no longer serves us. In Buddhist philosophy, attachment is a root cause of suffering. We attach to our thoughts, to our desires, and to our fears. We hold on to the past, sometimes refusing to let go of old wounds or regrets. We cling to the idea of how things should be, instead of accepting how they are. This attachment creates friction in our lives leading to stress, frustration, and emotional turmoil. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we grasp onto things that are impermanent. Our health changes, loved ones pass, and our circumstances shift. When we resist these changes, we only deepen our suffering. But when we learn to let go, we free ourselves from this burden. Think of the analogy of holding a hot coal. If you hold onto it too long, it burns you, but if you release it, you are free from the pain. Similarly, when we hold on to negative thoughts, anger, or expectations, we continue to suffer. The practice of non-attachment allows us to live with less emotional weight, helping us navigate life's challenges with grace. So how do we practice letting go? Start by acknowledging what you are holding on to. Is it a fear of aging? A regret about the past? A desire for something that may never come to pass? Recognize that these attachments only serve to weigh you down. Let them go, just as you would release the hot coal. This can be a difficult practice, especially when it comes to deep emotions like grief or anger. But remember, letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means acknowledging that holding on to the pain doesn't serve you. It means creating space in your heart and mind for peace and healing. Let's take a moment to think about the story of a woman in her late 60s who had lost her husband many years ago. For years, she held on to the grief and the sense of loss, letting it shape her life. One day, she began practicing mindfulness and meditation. Slowly, she started to let go of the pain she had carried for so long. She realized that while she would always miss him, she didn't need to hold on to the sadness. She could still love him, but in a new way, without allowing the grief to consume her. By letting go of her attachment to the pain, she found freedom and peace. Letting go isn't easy, but it's a practice that brings deep peace and resilience. It's about accepting that everything, including our emotions, is temporary. And in that acceptance, we find a quiet strength. Cultivating stillness in a busy world. Now that we've discussed the importance of observing your thoughts and letting go, let's explore how to cultivate stillness in a world that's constantly moving. In today's fast-paced world, especially for those of us who are older and perhaps more reflective on our life's journey, it can feel like our minds are always racing, constantly juggling responsibilities, memories, and the never-ending demands of the world. But the Buddhist teachings offer us a powerful tool for dealing with this: stillness. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about creating space in our lives where we can connect with our deeper selves and the present moment. It's about being fully present, not lost in the past or worrying about the future. The Buddha taught that true peace comes from a calm mind. And just as we tend to a garden, we must tend to our minds. We need to create moments of stillness where we can rest and recharge. In Buddhism, meditation is the most common practice used to cultivate stillness. It's about sitting in silence, focusing on your breath, and allowing thoughts to come and go without attachment. But stillness can also be found in everyday moments. It's in the pause between actions, in the mindful steps you take, and in the quiet moments of reflection. One simple practice to cultivate stillness is walking meditation. This practice involves walking slowly and deliberately, focusing on each step as you move. It's a way to ground yourself in the present moment, allowing your mind to quiet and your body to relax. Whether you're walking in a park or simply walking down the street, try to focus only on your movements. Feel the earth beneath your feet, the rhythm of your breath, and the peace that comes with each step. Another powerful tool is deep breathing. When you feel yourself getting caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Focus on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. This simple act can help calm your nervous system and center your mind. Cultivating stillness isn't about escaping the world. It's about embracing the present moment, whatever that moment may be. In stillness, we find clarity, peace, and the strength to navigate life's challenges. To close this part of the video, let's take a moment to reflect on the wisdom of the Buddha. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The stillness, we create the conditions for our minds to flourish. We allow space for wisdom, love, and peace to emerge. The more we practice stillness, the more unshakable we become, and the more we can bring that peace into the world around us. Embracing the power of acceptance and change. As we reach the final part of this journey together, it's important to reflect on the profound power that comes from truly accepting life's impermanence and the inevitable changes that come with age. The world constantly shifts, and as we grow older, we find that our bodies change, our relationships evolve, and our perspectives shift. These changes can sometimes feel like losses, but in Buddhist wisdom, we are reminded that they are not to be feared. Instead, they offer us the chance to grow, to deepen our understanding, and to strengthen our emotional resilience. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, anicca, is central to understanding how we can live with peace in a world of constant change. Everything from the seasons to our very lives is subject to change. The beauty of this teaching is that once we understand this truth, we can stop resisting change and instead embrace it. By doing so, we allow ourselves to experience life more fully, free from the anxiety of what we cannot control. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means acknowledging what is happening and finding peace within it. When we age, many of us face changes in our health, energy levels, or circumstances. These physical changes are unavoidable, but they don't have to diminish the quality of our lives. By accepting these changes and reframing them as part of our life's journey, we can approach aging not as a decline, but as a natural progression toward greater wisdom and deeper peace. Just as a tree sheds its leaves in the fall to make way for new growth in the spring, we too can let go of old ways and open ourselves to the new possibilities that each stage of life brings. This concept of letting go is deeply intertwined with the Buddhist practice of non-attachment. In the face of life's challenges, we often attach ourselves to expectations of how things should be, or we hold on to the past, clinging to memories or regrets. But attachment leads to suffering because nothing in life stays the same. To truly embrace the present moment, we must learn to let go of our attachments to people, experiences, and even identities that no longer serve us. The teachings of the Buddha remind us that letting go is not about losing, but about creating space for something new. It's about accepting that life will change, and through that acceptance, we unlock the peace and joy that comes from living fully in the present. You may find, as you age, that some of the things you once valued no longer hold the same importance. The wisdom that comes with age encourages you to release what doesn't matter and to focus on what truly brings you joy and contentment. Take, for example, the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just a technique, it's a way of living. When we practice mindfulness, we bring our full attention to the present moment, observing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. As you go about your day, whether you're drinking your morning coffee, taking a walk, or simply sitting in silence, mindfulness allows you to fully experience the moment as it is. It reminds you that each moment is precious, even in its simplicity. A beautiful example of this can be found in the life of a wise elder who, despite facing physical limitations, continues to live with deep presence. This elder has learned to cherish the small moments of each day, the warmth of sunlight on their face, the laughter of a child, the peaceful rhythm of their breath. By focusing on what is present, they have found a deep sense of joy and fulfillment, even in the face of aging. As you move through life, consider how you can cultivate mindfulness in your own journey. How can you accept the changes that come with age and embrace them as opportunities for growth? How can you let go of the past and make space for new experiences and connections? Ultimately, the teachings of Buddhism encourage us to live with wisdom, patience, and compassion. The more we practice these teachings, the more unshakable our minds become. We find that we no longer fear the passage of time or the changes it brings. Instead, we welcome each new phase with open arms, knowing that each stage of life holds its own unique beauty and lessons. As you reflect on these teachings, remember that change is not something to resist, but to embrace. Through acceptance, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and open the door to true peace and contentment. Every moment, every breath, is an opportunity to live with greater mindfulness and wisdom. So, I invite you to take a moment now, wherever you are, and simply breathe. Let go of any tension or anxiety and be present in this moment. Know that, as you continue on your journey, the wisdom of these teachings will guide you to a deeper sense of peace, no matter what life brings. As we conclude this video, I want to leave you with a few words of encouragement. Remember that you are not alone in this journey of life. Each of us faces challenges, but through the practice of mindfulness, acceptance, and letting go, we can navigate them with strength and grace. Change, though often difficult, is part of the natural flow of life. By embracing it and finding peace within, we open ourselves to the wisdom that each new phase brings. I encourage you to continue practicing these teachings, to let go of unnecessary thoughts and to cultivate stillness in your mind. Every day is a new opportunity to grow stronger emotionally, to become more resilient, and to find peace in the present moment. Thank you for being part of this journey today. I hope that the lessons shared here resonate with you and bring you peace as you continue to explore the wisdom of Buddhism. May you walk forward with a calm heart, knowing that every moment is a chance to embrace change, find peace, and live with purpose. Take care, and may your path be filled with peace, joy, and wisdom.